Hey guys, Chris, Ironhead Garage. Well, we're back out in the shop, doing a little bit here, a little bit there, on the old GMC. Hey, check it out, I took the old visor off. I was able to get all the screws out, trying to get it ready to replace that windshield rubber. Yeah, I'm doing it myself. Sure in hell ain't gonna pay nobody to put my glass in. I could do that. Been sanding on the door a little bit, got all that primer off and the rear fender a little bit. Hit a little bit of Bondo there at the bottom of the front door, so I sprayed a little bit of that turquoise paint on it. I still need to sand it up some more, get some more of that gray off of that door, get some of that gold to shine in, but yeah, doing a little bit of that. And I did pressed in the new bushings in the front of them leaf springs. Yeah, those are fun to do. And I got the leaf springs all wired down. I think I'm gonna put some rust encapsulator on it, and then paint them up. I'm not sure if I'm gonna delete some of these lower springs. These ones are on here. You have to take these off to get the triple pack apart. But I might take the first spring and then maybe the third spring or something. Got to investigate that a little bit more. I did get my axle flip kit. Came in the mail. So it came with the plates and the perches and then the new U-bolts. And I did take those springs apart. Here's the old rusty center pins in them. I was able to get this one, I sawed off. I was able to get the other one off, and they fit in the perch, spring perch there. So I ordered the same ones. I think they're half-inch head on them, 5/16 center that goes through the center of the springs. But check it out, these new perches here I got, they're 5/8. Yeah, so bummer. And I can't find pins the right size, 5/8 by 5/16 shank on them. I could only find 7/16, I believe, with 5/8 head. So I ordered them up so I can center them up right. I'll have to drill the leaf springs. I'll get a new bit and drill them. That's no trouble. But yeah, what a bummer. So these will go in the stock. Use another day. The kit came with these, and I'm not sure, no directions or anything, but they sort of fit on the housing, but I believe these are upper, for the upper shock mount. So you'd have to weld these up to a round bar and then run the same kind of shock like what goes on the front. So I'm not sure if I'll use these. They're nice. All this material is 1/4 inch thick, so they're plenty stout, so that's cool to receive all that. Is making sure that the U-bolts fit, so those all fit good and the plates work and are the right dimensions and everything. So that was cool. But if you guys remember, this housing here, this shackle was loose on here, and I thought just the weld was broke here. But the housing's cracked. It's almost cracked all the way around. You can see it cracked right there. Yeah, so that one I thought I could weld, but as I wiggle this housing, there's a big chunk broken loose in here. So and then on this side, there it is. See that crack? It's going almost all the way down to the seam of the housing. So I don't think I'm gonna even try to weld that up. And anyway, if I knock this off of here, there's gonna be a big hole in here. It's gonna get a bunch of debris in there. So yeah, this housing's junk. And I did take the jackpot out of there, and I put a new gasket. Have my buddy John look at that center section, and it was all pretty good. The bearing seemed fine. So I put it back in, and I put the axles back in, and I put new wheel bearings, and I had painted the backing plates and new wheel cylinders and brake shoes and spring kit. We had the drums turned and painted them up, so it was all ready to go. Luckily, I never put gear oil in it yet. I never filled it up. So, gotta find another housing. One of my buddies, my buddy Dan, his friend, he's got about 10 Tri-5 Chevy parts cars. 57, 56. I think he's got a couple 55 wagons. So, he's going to talk to his buddy and see if he's got a housing sitting around. I'm sure he does that I can get from him. Hopefully I can get a 57 with a drain in the bottom. I'm not sure why the 55, 56 never had a drain plug, but 57 would be better. Or maybe I can weld one in there like my buddy John did on my Oldsmobile rear end. Gave me a nice drain plug. It always helps to change the fluid out. But yeah, so I'm gonna pull these drums apart and get these axles slammed out of here and get that center section out and take this housing and throw it as far as I can. Yeah, man, what a bummer, but at least I figured it out now. Luckily I didn't put fluid in it, and it'd be a big giant mess. But anyway, I'm gonna get that apart and hopefully I can come up with a housing. See what I can come up with and get her back together. Alright guys. Slingshot. Oh yeah. I'll be back. Wish me luck. Well guys, I got that housing all tore apart. And got the center section out, the backing plates out. The bearings are all new. I just have to clean them a little bit. And my gaskets are toast. My gasket around my center section's toast, but that's alright. So I marked with a piece of tape, driver's side. I'll take that backing plate off, and I marked it driver's side. As you can see, the driver's side axle's a little shorter. So, do that so I don't get them mixed up, but the old center section's pretty clean. I remember cleaning it all out. I'm surprised I didn't see the crack in here, because as I look down it now, if I'm looking for the crack, you can see it right there on the left. Yeah, and I had my fat head peering in here, and I never noticed that crack for some reason. Not sure, but got this thing on the ground now. Then I'm going to try to smack that perch off of there. There's that big crack. I think a big chunk's going to come out, but there's no fixing her. So we'll give her a smack and see what happens. It's pretty tough. There she goes. She wouldn't have lasted long in the car or in the truck. Yep, just what I thought. Look at that. Man, she is toast. I could have sawzalled that perch off of there, but all them shavings would have went down inside the axle tube. Yeah, what a bummer. And it was cracked multiple places. That was the worst crack, all the way down to the seam. Yeah, I knew there was a big chunk loose under there. And there it is, stuck on the perch. So, man, look at that weld. That weld's like almost 7/8 wide. Yeah, what a bummer, but yeah, we'll get us a different housing. Hey, maybe a little bit of glue might help. Yeah, she's garbage. Maybe a wall hanger or something. Yeah, probably a good candidate for the dump. Alright, well, let's see if I can get a new housing over here. Well, a good, almost 70-year-old used one. Anyway, alright guys, we'll be back. Well guys, after that side being cracked, I wanted to come back and show you. I was looking down in the tube this way, and this side actually has a crack too. You can see it if you look down into the housing. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it on camera or not, but past that second rust spot in there. she's cracked there too. So yeah, so luckily it looks like there's a little crack there too. Luckily I didn't run this rear end, but as you can see over here, it's noticing a lot of this weld on here. All that big bulldozer weld, and that's the only chunk that penetrated. That's all smooth right there where it was welded. It just busted right off. So they had a lot of rod burning, but not much penetrating. Yep. You gotta turn your welder up a little bit more and get that stuff smoking red hot. Get some penetration. All right, guys. All right. Well, I'm back. My buddy Dan helped me out. Appreciate you, Dan, big time. Check it out. 1957 Chevy housing. Yeah, so it's a lot better than that old chunked out one there. So my buddy Dan, he hooked me up with his friend and got me a housing. And look at that, it even says 1957 right on it. So yeah, pretty cool. It's in pretty good shape. It's got some surface rust on it, but it's actually pretty clean inside. If I can flip this thing over. It's not all rusty inside, just where the gasket is, and all this will clean up. So I got to take these bump stops off of here. Looks like this one's about ready to pull off. I got to cut these leaf spring perches off on the stock ones, as you can see. They only got a couple spot welds here and here on each end. But I believe in the other video, part of the video, I said 55 to 57 housings are the same, which they are. But one thing I didn't mention is the bearing size, the wheel bearing size. So here, the 57 is a 3-inch outer diameter bearing. 55, 56, they're like 2 3/4 of an inch. And I got the big 3-inch ones. The inside diameters are the same. The thickness is the same. I believe they're about 7/8. So luckily I got the 57, and this one's got the drain plug in it. Drain plug hole there, so that's sweet. So I got to get this thing all cleaned up. Get them purchase burned off of there. And yeah, get on it. Paint her up, but not just yet. We'll get those other purchase mocked up on there. These guys I got here. Find out exactly where they're going to go, because they're a lot more narrower. So you can see how far those are in from the bearing cups on the end. And these are pretty far out there. So this is for Tri-5 Chevy. I believe they're 4 foot over and over. But the old GMC is like 38 inches or something. So I'm gonna get this dog all cleaned up. Maybe chase these threads with a tap. I seen this one's loose in there, but still pretty good. It's actually looks new for being almost 70 years old. Pretty cool. So we'll do that. Get her cleaned up. Wish I had a sandblasting cabinet to put this guy in, but a little bit of elbow grease always does wonders. All right, guys, the old hot rod gods have came through again. Gotta love them. Be back. All right, well, I've been working on this rear end housing, and I got the perches all cut off of there. Yeah, they came off in chunks. There's a pile of them. Just used the old Sawzall and cut as close as I could to that tube, and then ground the tubes and made them nice and smooth. No bumps or anything. So, came out of a 57, so the spring perches over 4 foot. And I've been underneath my truck, and it's 39 5/8 over. So I've been trying to mock this up, but I was going to get pins, and I did order new pins for these holes, if you guys remember. this is a stock size leaf spring pin with a 1/2 inch, and it was rattly on there. So this hole is actually 11/16. So I bought, couldn't find 11/16. They're 5/8 or 3/4. So I bought 5/8 ones. Look at that, and they're a little baggy. So I could put a little bit of weld in there in the center and ream them out and get them tight. But then these are 7/16, so I would have to drill every spring. So I said, screw that. I'm going to use my original size pins that go on my leaf springs. And I found different perches, ones with a 1/2 inch hole in them for 3-inch axle tube. The only thing difference is they got a little bit more meat here, and they're just another 1/2 inch longer, so that's better. And it's actually got a better flat on it than these, and they got a 1/2 inch hole. And then the height here, this height is 1/2 inch, the other ones are 7/8, so it's going to drop me another 3/8 of an inch in the ass end, and I'm good with that. But I got the housing pretty clean. I still got a scrubber out on the inside. Got the drain plug and the fill bolt all out of there and cleaned up. So yeah, I've been working on my leaf springs. Said I was going to use the capsulator, rusty capsulator, but I use this stuff here. It's rust converter, coral seal. Yeah, it's pretty good stuff. I think it's about 50 bucks a gallon or something. A gallon, man, you could do so much. So I put the converter all on my springs, both sides, all around. So it makes like a hard shell on there. It just converts that rust into paintable primer. And I got all in the inside the best I could in the triple pack there. I even put it on my running boards, or steps for the bed. So I probably should do the whole frame and everything back here. I just might do that. Did the kick panels for the inside. They had a little bit of surface rust. Stuff works pretty good too, and it's non-toxic. Don't stink you out. But so I got them other spring perches coming. I'm gonna wait for them. Then I can mock this up in there. Get her in the truck, get the pinion angle set right, and do a couple spot welds, and then burn them on there. Then get her all back together again. Yeah, nothing but fun, right? Yeah, we're sure glad we enjoy this hobby, but or we'd be doing something else. You guys know I do. Oh, check it out. I did get a overflow tank, stainless steel. You can buy some real cheap ones on eBay that have like a radiator cap, and this one's threaded. It's got a little O-ring. But I think I'm going to wait to put this on until I got my inner fender wells on and everything. It'll go somewhere here. Yeah, it's pretty nice. It's got the tubes on the bottom. Got some little mounting brackets that come with it. So that's going to work pretty slick on there and look nice. Lots more to do on the old truck, but I'm getting it. Waiting for parts. Gearhead story, right guys? Alright, well, we'll end this one here. We appreciate you all. You guys take it easy. We'll see you next time. Pro mods. Oh yeah.